Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Friday, June 25th market update. On the economic front, the quarterly GDP number was a little light. It was up 2.7%. Estimate was for up 3%. The monthly consumer sentiment number was better than expected, coming in at 76. Estimate was for 75.5. On deck for Monday will be the monthly personal income and outlays number. Of course, next week there's actually a lot of economic data coming out, and of course, next Friday will be the employment situation report, the non-farm payrolls. So tomorrow, next week should be pretty interesting week with all the data coming out. So the dollar was down today, and gold, silver, copper, and oil were up. The euro was up pretty well, and dollar down, so the stock market was doing pretty well. Light sweet crude futures were up $2.35 to settle at $78.86 a barrel. So we're looking at the UUP. We had a little bit of support right here on this green line. We broke down, not a lot of volume behind it, but and we do possibly got some support here on this trend line, but possibly from here and here and here, or not. So we'll see. MACD's pretty low though, so you'd think we're probably about due for a bounce, but on the dollar. Let's take a look at the point and figure chart for West Texas Intermediate Crude. So we did print right above this downtrend line. We're at a double top area here and here. So if we break out higher, we should have go at least a few dollars higher. So that's pretty bullish here on crude, and probably because of the possibility of the tropical storms or a hurricane around the Gulf. Sure has a lot to do with it, and that's not what I wanted. There we go. Let's take a look at the Dow. So the Dow closed down 9 points to 10,143. S&P closed up 3 points to 1,076. NASDAQ closed up 6 points to 2223, and the Russell closed up 12 points to 645. The Russell had the larger percent gain of 1.89%, so they were definitely chasing the small caps. And the Dow was the weakest, down 0.09%. So you're looking here at the Dow. So kind of had an indecisive, day here, kind of a little bit of a doji, just kind of neutral. Buying and selling was pretty equal. Look at the SPX. Let's give it a little time. Similar here. Trying to hold this 1070. It looks like the midpoint of this large candle. It's pretty similar. And the MACD still pointed down. Let's look at the moving averages here. So the Nasdaq's still below the 200, but looks if it can reverse here, of course it'll make a higher low than down here. See the Russell. Russell is back above the 200. So we took out the 200 here, the black line, and now we're back above the 200. Take a look at the 60-minute chart on the Russell. We've been in this channel down for quite a while. Took it out a little bit here. Been watching it. So we had a nice, actually kind of had a intraday, kind of quickly draw. It had this intraday, falling wedge, continuation wedge, went up higher, ran right into the 30-day moving average on the 60-minute chart. So we'll see where we go from here. We also got a little MACD that we've been, when we've been running into it, we've kind of been declining. So the MACD turned up a lot higher here, so that's pretty promising. And there was quite a few of the stronger stocks that look pretty decent today. So we'll see what next week's brings. Let's see, we had volume was about 20% below average. Kind of the new summertime volume, you'd call it, I guess. About gold's still looking good right up here. Gold's looking fine. Silver, possibly some resistance here, but MACD's turning it up a little bit here, but silver was doing pretty well. Copper, big breakout on copper from this downtrend line here I have drawn. Of course, you could draw another one across here, but good volume. This bid in copper, and then, of course, broke out here above this prior high. So copper was looking pretty good today. You look at the euro. Euro holding up pretty well, up 0.47%. I can't look at the VIX. My chart's still messed up. What else do I want to look at? XLF. XLF, it looks like it's in this kind of a wedge type pattern. Had a nice volume coming in today. and we made a, could be starting a triangle here, we'll see. um, Bounced off that. A lot of the bank stocks looked pretty good today. Let's take a look at the stocks. So semis, they're still holding up pretty well. Came way off the lows here on the semiconductor index. Not too bad. Let's take a look at oil futures, just because oil's had a pretty big bounce here. So this was the beginning of May when we fell and fell and fell and fell. This was like the end of May, and then we've been kind of crawling back up here. We got to the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement right here, and we're almost back there again. So we'll see where we go from here. So we basically ran into the $80 mark, kind of like I showed on the point and figure, and that was resistance. So we'll see if it holds as resistance this time. The MACD's got some separation here. It turned up just a little bit, so I'm guessing we're probably going to take it out. Maybe we'll see if we go here or go all the way and retrace. So we'll see where we go next. But oil's looking pretty good here, especially some of the oil services. And I saw some of the nat gas stocks had a nice bounce today as well. Let's go over and look at the McClellan. So still in this neutral area, not moving a whole lot. You know, not really having any huge swings right now. Let's take a look at the sectors. So 10 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The gold index, which was the miners, had the larger percent gain, up 3.28%. The miners were looking really good. Home construction index was the weakest, down 0.70%. Note the bank stocks, the bank index here, they were doing really well as well. Oil services. Of course, there's no chart watch on Fridays. I will post my weekly watch list here on Sunday evening. Let's go take a look at the gold point and figure, which often we do on Fridays. Bullish price objective 1010. We're right here, 1255 area, so it's looking pretty good. Gold's still been really bullish. Silver, bullish price objective 29. Silver's right up here. Silver's been really bullish. It still looks pretty good. And copper. Copper is about to go on a buy signal here. And in fact, I think it did after it probably settled. But so copper is starting to pick up. So we'll watch copper, see what this changes to. Probably going to buy signal. This is $2.24. It will be so, and this is be about the $3.08 area, which I believe we were over that last I looked. So copper's looking pretty good. Let's go over and take a look at the current market signals. We follow the point and figure chart for the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, and there's really no change here. I mean, they're still on. They've never gone on a sell signal yet. Let's see here, and there's really no change. And we ran into this resistance here. This is the Dow, and we're right here. And let's look at the SPX. Look at the S&P. Still again buy signal. We won't go on a sell signal. We'd get this 1040 is an important level here on the S&P 500. So we're up in here. And NASDAQ. Right, so NASDAQ again still on this buy signal. His big moves up and down, bouncing all over. So we're right in here, and of course we won't go to sell signal on the NASDAQ unless we take out this prior column of O's. So we'd have to go way down here and print 2,130, which of course it is doable, but pretty big fall, quite a ways down. All right, so that is it for today. Thanks for watching. And again, I'll post my weekly watch list on Sunday evening, and a lot of data, so I'm sure we'll have a fun week next week trading.